All right. Well, the mother of Tamir Rice has publicly accused several high profile social justice activists of exploiting controversial killings of black people for financial gain, according to News One. Samira Rice, whose 12-year-old son was killed in 2014 after a police officer shot him within seconds of seeing him in a Cleveland park, sounded off on social media Sunday night into Monday with a variety of posts that seemed to be primarily aimed at Tamika Mallory, but also included prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump and others. Her outbursts on Facebook seemed to be prompted by Mallory's appearance at the Grammy Awards on Sunday night. Part of her post read, "Y'all have literally effed our fight up. I hope not another family's soul used y'all to represent them," Rice added. "Y'all might as well be junior pigs cops." In subsequent Facebook posts, Rice wrote that she was tired of you Black Lives Matter and named Mallory and crew while directing expletives at her at the aforementioned lawyers. She went on to say in her elaborate social media posts that she feels the activists like Mallory, who says she's never met her, are benefiting off the blood of families who have lost loved ones, gaining fame in the process. And she said, "Who hired them to represent these families? She doesn't speak for us. If you were going to do anything, you should have had the mothers on stage so they could speak for themselves." And so, obviously her posts drew some praise and some criticism. People have called her a bully. But one person who supported her is a woman named Lisa Simpson, whose 18-year-old son was shot by LAPD in Watts this past summer after allegedly pointing a gun at them. And she said, "People like Tamika Mallory are making money from this while I'm homeless, living in a hotel. If they don't give us justice, we're taking it by any means," et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So my take on this, I was one of those people, I felt, you know what? Let me just say what I have to say here. So I feel like Ms. Rice absolutely has a reason to be upset. She has a very important reason to be upset. Everyone can understand why she would be upset. But I feel like for every great point that she made, it was trumped by the delivery. I feel like you have someone like Tamika Mallory, who was on the Grammy stage, who has been on the front lines and has been fighting for justice for Black people. May not have been the way that she wanted to be, but she is on the front lines fighting for justice. I feel like I'm not going to say that I do not respect her, but I will never have respect for one Black woman using her platform to belittle another Black woman. I don't feel like we're getting any closer to the goal by putting down a Black person and a Black man. You have a cop who will never have to take accountability for the killing of Tamir Rice. So I feel like you're upset. You have a reason to be upset, but I don't feel like she's upset at the right person.
Yeah, and I think, because I talked to people that saw the performance, and they felt like, and they said this in a respectful way, that she remains on the front lines, like that's her role. Some felt like her being on the Grammys, like just almost said, okay, now it's my chance to be something more than what I am. And I was like, well, hold up, I don't know if I agree with that. So like, you're going to have people that accept it and disagree, but the way she handled it, Ms. Rice, I don't think was right. I think could have been handled a little bit better. So I have to agree with that part.
Yeah.
You have a mother who lost her child, a baby. He was a child,
yeah, he was.
A young child. And so, I've been checking out the response to this online, and a lot of people are just, wanting to stop and listen to her because she comes from a space in this that, many, but also few people involved in the movement have actually experienced.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've seen that response.
And I live with someone who lost their first child. Mm-hmm. So their life has changed forever, and she can never get past that. So I understand that pain. And when you watch that video back and see what happened when that police officer didn't get that little boy a chance, he just pulled up like he was rolled up to a bank robbery or something and shot that little boy. I know it's not right, so I do understand her pain. Yeah. But at some point, we got to figure where we can merge together in this situation.
I'm just going to interject and say that I think that the main point that was kind of overlooked is the fact that she says Tamika Mallory has never reached out to her. She's never spoken to her, but she, when they run down the list of people who have been killed by cops, Tamir Rice's name comes up. It's one of the first ones to come up. So I think that that's where her reticence towards her comes from. Like, you don't even know me. You've never even reached out to me, but you're on the stage and we didn't even get the invitation.
Melissa, can I ask you a question, Melissa? By Mike Brown's family. Remember, it was just a couple weeks ago, and so Mike Brown's father was essentially saying, "Hey, you all use my son's name, but I haven't seen any of this." And so it's a similar comment coming from, again, two people who have experienced something that a lot of people haven't.
No, I absolutely agree. 100%. Great point, Melissa. But I also feel as if we're talking about two black women, why not find a way? Hey, sis, how can I add authenticity to your fight? If she feels like Tamika Mallory is not authentic in her fight, hey, how can I add authenticity? How can we come together and combine and get and combine and how can you wrap me into what you're doing and make it authentic? I don't feel like I don't feel like belittling another black woman on your platform was the right way to do that.
If I'm Tamir Rice's mother, I'm not doing the reach out. You could reach out to me. Like that's just I can see her point as to how offended she is. Like you've never reached out to me. You've had years to do so, and now you are like literally becoming the face of the movement, and you have still not reached out to me. Right. I get it. Yeah. I understand.
So, the Vatican declared Monday that the Catholic Church will not bless same-sex unions. The reasoning, God cannot bless sin. The Vatican's Orthodoxy Office, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, issued a formal statement. It was in response to a question about whether or not the Catholic clergy has the authority to bless gay unions. The answer was in a 2-page explanation published in 7 languages and was approved by Pope Francis, and it said negative. The note distinguished the difference between the church's welcoming and blessing of gay people, which it upheld, but not their unions. It argued that such unions are not part of God's plan and that any sacramental recognition of them could be confused with marriage. So my take on this, I'm a Christian, I'm religious, I'm spiritual, all of the above. But I feel like when you have situations like this is why you have so many people that are not, that are afraid to be the person that they really want to be. If you want to love a man, you want to love a woman, you should be free to do so. And so I feel like, you have so many people that grow up afraid of what the church is going to say when you look into those same people that are that you think are going to judge you, and they're not perfect either. And so I just feel like if one church or one religion is not going to respect who you want to love, there's another church or another organization down the street across town that will. And I feel like go where you are, appreciated, not just tolerated.
You know what's crazy is I was baptized Catholic, and I found out when I was 37 years old. Why? Because my mother refused to tell me. She did not want me to grow up with that kind of indoctrination. The hypocrisy of the Catholic Church knows no bounds. Okay, first of all, I don't even want to get into how many Catholic priests have been, it's been proven how much molestation has happened within the Catholic Church. Okay, so there's that. But what's really interesting is Elton John went on to condemn the Pope and this recent revelation, because he says, how can the Vatican refuse to bless gay marriages, yet happily make a profit from investing millions into Rocket Man, a film which celebrates my finding happiness from my marriage to his current husband. The Catholic Church made a pretty penny off of their million euro investment, because the production brought in $185 million in profits.
Wow.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked about this. Joe Biden is only the second practicing Catholic president in our nation's history. And I think the official response was no comment. She said that at that point, Joe Biden didn't have any personal response to it, but just reiterated that he supports same-sex marriage. So that's a bit of the response we got from the president, the only second practicing Catholic president in our nation's history.
I know people that have conversation about this, and the one word they use and they throw at each other is being a hypocrite. Because how dare you say that about me, but what goes on inside the church, or vice versa. So it's unfortunate. It's a very touchy topic, but
they're condemning gay marriage, but they don't condemn, molestation and the ruin of millions of lives.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right, so new roadside billboards in Atlanta are urging Coca-Cola, Home Depot, and other Georgia-based corporations to oppose voting restrictions proposed by Republican state lawmakers, according to CNN. Voting rights groups in the state are launching a campaign Monday calling upon corporations to speak out publicly against legislation that they argue will suppress access to voting, especially among people of color who tend to support Democratic candidates. The billboards also are targeting other corporations based in the state, including Home Depot, Delta Airlines, and insurance provider Aflac. Last week, Republicans advanced a sweeping bill in the state Senate that would repeal no-excuse absentee voting for many Georgians, a method 1.3 million of the state's residents used to cast ballots in last November's election. There was a billboard in I think somewhere in Georgia said, "Hey, Coca-Cola, the freedom to vote tastes good to all Georgians." Mm-hmm. We understand this state was a blue state last time, 1992, I believe, during Bill Clinton era. So we understand that Trump lost that, the Republicans lost that state. But this was a way that a lot of black people and people of color voted and had a lot of success. So again, they're trying to see how can we suppress, how can we intercept that and take away their votes? Because we know when we go out and vote and we do it right, which we did illegally, we can make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I saw, I guess in a bit of a response, it looks like one could say that this bit of activism is pushing in the right direction or is working in the direction that they would like to see, because the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, actually sent a statement to CNBC saying they oppose provisions in the two bills in question. And of course, a lot of other activists are saying that's not strong enough, but it seems to some people a sign that more is to come.